Before we get to chapter 1, I just want to spend a bit of time recapping on some of the things you will have been taught at school in a positive sense, because they are important. Firstly, you need to be strong in mind and body. Knowledge of the dark arts is not enough. If you look on life as a sporting contest, it's not enough to know all the manoeuvres. You also have to go into the match in good mental and physical condition. Although you may learn the defences to the dark arts, you will still be vulnerable if you lack character, physical health and goals. As to character, it's necessary for you to have a strong mind. By that I mean character, a sense of identity, a healthy mind and body, a desire for knowledge, and a sense of right and wrong. My old headmaster, Sir Brian Hone, summed it up as integrity. You should acquire a lot of old-fashioned qualities like resolve, courage, compassion, love, honesty, fairness, common sense and humour. And as Zig Ziglar, the American motivational writer, points out, these are skills and can be learnt. Physical health. You should, whilst you're young, develop good physical health which you can maintain as you grow older. You should, as far as you're able, develop physical strength, stamina and coordination. It's surprising how physically demanding many professional jobs are. Physical fitness helps you to be mentally alert and mentally healthy. And good sleep is essential. Sleep is essential for your mental health. Sleep deprivation is a very effective form of torture, according to the late Marcus Wolf, who was the head of the Foreign Intelligence Division of the Stasi. The late neurocybernetician Christopher Evans believed that during rapid eye movement sleep, the brain goes offline in order to rewrite its programs on the strength of the day's experience. And if it can't do that, it gets really messed up. So make sure you get plenty of good sleep. Goals. You should have goals and a plan as to how to achieve them. You should have the ability to enjoy each day, and you must be able to change your goals and plans as you grow up and the world changes. The American motivator Earl Nightingale once said, "Success is the progressive realisation of a worthy goal." And that's a good definition. If you're moving towards a goal, you're like a moving ship which can steer. If you're stationary, you are, to use an expression, dead in the water. You cannot steer and are at the mercy of the elements and hostile ships. You're very vulnerable to those who will exploit you. I've mentioned motivational books, but to give them another plug, there are many motivational books you can learn motivational skills from, and without the skills these books teach, you will be at risk, whether or not you've read this book, read my book, and put it into practice. Now, one other thing you've got to do is you've got to learn to think in terms of systems. I'm sure you've been taught systems theory at school for subjects such as geography and perhaps history or economics, but do you use it in your own life? For example, if you are negotiating with someone, it's very good to see the transaction in a systems sense and imagine you are in the other person's position. Often that can enable you to anticipate an attempt by another to use a dark art against you. As an example, a woman I worked with once asked my advice. She and her husband, though only young, had purchased an allotment on a housing estate from a real estate agent. The husband developed terminal cancer and they put the house back on the market through the same estate agent, but it didn't sell. I asked her to see the matter from the position of the agent. The agent has a big client, the developer, and a small client, the man with cancer. Who is the agent going to look after? The big client or the guy with terminal cancer? On my advice, the wife placed the property with another agent and it sold quickly. So look at things in systemic terms. A negotiation is a system. A relationship is a system. See what the roles of the interacting parties are. Understand that in business, everyone acts for themselves first, their organisation second, and you third. That's not necessarily bad. It's just the way the world works. And this leads us into POSIWID. POSIWID. You need to be objective in applying systems theory. You do this by applying POSIWID. POSIWID stands for the purpose of a system is what it does. The term was invented by the systems expert Stafford Beer, who observed, there is, after all, no point in claiming that the purpose of a system is to do what it constantly fails to do. Applying POSIWID forces you to be objective in describing a system. This gives a better understanding of the situation than good intentions, moral judgments, and so on. Applying POSIWID, the purpose of the liquor industry includes increasing domestic violence, liver disease, and road deaths. The purpose of the road transport system includes the maiming and killing of motorists, cyclists and pedestrians, the destruction of farmland, the consumption of raw materials, global warming, and air pollution. So you get the idea. You can have a lot of fun with POSIWID. You just have to be able to see the humour in things. If you're buying a car, you should view the proposed transaction as a system. The salesman's main purpose is to sell you a car and get a commission. If the commission is related to the sale price of the car, he will want to sell you the most expensive car he can. In an ideal world, he's there to help you buy the car that's best for you. But that is probably not his main aim. His aim is to stretch your budget to its limit and increase his commission and his employer's profit. And there's no presumption of reasonableness. There's no equality of trade here. There's no limit to the extent a person will profit at your expense. A salesperson will sell you something that may cause you immense damage for a very small profit to himself. If you're over 18 years old and pull up in a drive-in bottle shop with a car full of young people, the liquor clerk at the bottle shop will happily sell you a dozen bottles of vodka. The liquor outlet might make $100 on the deal, without regard for the immense cost in life if you get drunk and run into a tree. A superannuation salesman may sell you superannuation and get a high upfront commission, which will result in you receiving many hundreds of thousands of dollars less when you retire. So you have to watch out for yourself. A good school education and a good character, as essential as they are not enough. You also need to be aware of the dark arts and learn the defences against them. And that is what the rest of this book is about.